Hello everyone. I should continue with the calculation part of the environmental topic. I think I will have to record a number of videos just to not to make it too long. So in this video, I'm going to cover how to prepare environmental cost report. So according to the lecture outcomes or the learning outcomes of this of the topic of environmental management accounting topic, I covered the eco-efficiency concept as a theory in video 1. I covered the classification of environmental costs in video 2. And this should be video 3, how to prepare environmental cost report. I think I will, of course, I will record another 2 or 3 videos to cover the rest of the learning outcomes or the learning objectives. Just let us open the question. This file, just give me 1 second, please. Okay, and open the other one for questions and answers. Just try to move them around as usual. Hopefully, I will keep this person away. And then let's open this one. Okay, so as usual, I prefer to have the question open in front of me while I'm explaining the answers. So I will start with reading the question. Of course, both questions and answers Word file will be available on Moodle for all of you. I know that some students, you might want to open the question in one device and the answers on one device, or listening to my awful voice on another device. But anyway, so this topic, again, it's related to the quality cost report. It's very, very similar, but we are covering here the quality dimension of the calculation. So there are 3 types of calculation in this topic: how to prepare environmental cost report, how to prepare environmental financial statements, and how to assign environmental cost into products. So I will focus on each one of them, and I might be, if I realize that this is too much, I might split this into 2 weeks, and might be the plan. Anyway, so let's focus on the first type of the question, which we are going to cover: environmental cost report. Just for simplification, and because we are going to cover the environmental cost report later on when we are covering how to prepare environmental financial statements, I will just explain this to you for illustration only, as you can see, on 1 year. I never bring a 1 year environmental cost report or quality cost report for 1 year in a final exam, because this will not allow you to provide a proper comment or a proper analysis. So here, at the end of the 2008, BK company implemented a quality improvement, environment quality management program. At the first step, this particular BK identified the following costs for the year ended in the accounting record as follows. Again, a number of items. And in this number of items is you have to classify them into prevention, detection, internal and external failure. I'm repeating myself here. If I bring any question in the final exam, whether it's related to quality or related to environmental cost report or quality cost report, I will not provide you the classification. I will provide you a number of items, and it's your responsibility or one of the requirements in the final exam question to organize the items into the correct classification, into prevention, appraisal, internal and external failure for quality, or or prevention, detection, internal and external failure for environment. So here there are a number of items, and the requirement is prepare an environmental quality cost report by category. Assume that the total operating costs are 12 million. Sorry, 120 million. It's a very important point to mention here. When we prepare quality cost report, we calculate the percentage related to sales. However, when we are preparing environmental cost report, we are relating all the percentage to operating cost, because what's happening or what is already happening in the production process, that's all related to the operating cost. So the main aim is just to reduce the percentage of the environmental cost that related to operating cost. This is why we link it to operating cost. I think this might link it to my question in my second video, why calculating environmental cost is important or is useful. You might just find the answer there. So and then calculate the relative distribution of each category. How we are going to answer this type of question is as usual. We are sorry, just give me, I will try to minimize that, just to these items like this, and then try to expand this a little bit. So here is the first part of answering the question. I will prepare environmental cost report for the year ending 2008, and for the year ending 2008, again, we are first step, we are classifying the items into prevention, detection, internal and external. In the first video of the preparing quality cost report, I just classified them into colors, into prevention, appraisal, external and internal and external. I'm happy to do the same here. Environmental studies, performing environmental studies and environmental training. This is, we can put them with different color here, and I posted this question. I can put this here. Environmental studies and the environmental training, these are prevention activities. Detection, testing for contamination or testing for pollution, I will make it blue. And measuring contamination levels, this is a detection, we'll make it blue as well. And here, internal failure, as you can see, treating and disposable toxic, this is an internal failure. Let's make this whatever color you love. Let's make it pink. Operating equipment, internal failure, let's make it pink as well. Maintaining equipment is pink, which is internal failure. Here, the last item, inefficient material usage. What color is left here? Let's make it green. And clean up the soil is external. So even from what we are saying here, if you can have a wee look, that we classify the items. So once you get the items, you classify them. Prevention, detection, internal and external. I can tell you, students always get the prevention and the external failure absolutely fine. So the percentage of students who got it absolutely correct is something like 95%. It's always the confusion in the two categories in the middle, detection and the internal failure, or for environment, or appraisal and the internal failure. So please just work hard on this. I will post some past papers questions and their answers, just to familiarize yourself with the items. Once you have done 2 or 3 examples, or two or three questions from past papers, you will not find, you will never ever find any surprises in the final exam. So the first point, as you can see, we classified the items into prevention, detection, internal and external failure. Under prevention, we put 240. Where is the prevention? Environmental studies. Environmental studies here, 240. This is where I got this figure from. So environmental studies, 240. This is environmental studies, 240. Environmental training, 150. Environmental training, 150. I highlighted again prevention by yellow, detection by blue, internal by pink, external by green. I think we have done it together anyway. And for detection, I classified the items: testing for contamination, measuring for contamination levels as detection. Internal failure, this treating toxic, operating equipment, maintaining equipment. So anything that relating to testing and the measuring, etc., this should be under detection. But anything that really relating to failure, related to equipment, related to because maintaining equipment or spend some money on operating equipment, this will affect on the environmental cost. External, that it's very easy to identify anything that companies has done damage outside the company, damage the environment, and they have to pay for it. So the classification is very easy. In inefficient material usage, and we put this as green, highlighted by green here, and clean up soil is 3,600,000. What we really need to do, we really need to list all the figures here. 240 for environmental studies, environmental training. Again, where I get these figures from is from the question here. 150 environmental training. That means if you add them together, this is 390, and then the percentage is 0.33. Where I've got 0.33, I've got my calculator here in front of me. I will just say 390 divided by 120. Calculate the percentage. Sorry, 390 divided by 120,000, 20 million, sorry, and calculate the percentage. This will be 0.325. And you can round up to 2 decimal points, because this is always the question. And I'm always, if I bring a question like this in the final exam, if I bring a question
exam, it will be all the time. It will be it will be round. I will ask you to round to 2 decimal points, and then this should be we'll do this. Sorry, we'll do the same with detection. So detection here is 1,200,000. Where I get this 1,200,000 from? Go for the items that we colored by blue. So testing for contamination, 1,200,000, and the measuring the contamination levels is 120,000. Add them together, calculate the percentage. Again, the percentage is related to operating income, which is, sorry, operating cost, which is, I put it at the bottom of the table. So all the items are the same. Internal failure is where the internal failure, 9,600,000. Where this 9,600,000 comes from? It's the internal failure category. We colored the items by pink. So all the items that we have highlighted by pink can be listed under internal failure. So operating equipment, 1,970,000, maintaining equipment, 720. Add them together and then calculate the percentages to operating cost and so on. External failure, which is the last item, inefficient material, and we color this by green together. This is 2,400,000, and clean up the soil is 3,600,000. Add them together and calculate the percentage to operating cost. If you can have a wee look here as this particular question, you can find that the operating cost is sorry, the operating cost is 100 sorry, the total environmental quality cost is 20 million, and the percentage is 16.67. We still have a step to do with preparing environmental quality cost report. What this step to do is calculating the percentage or the distribution of the quality cost. They call it relative percentage or the distribution of the environmental quality cost. How we calculate the distribution of the environmental quality cost? Again, you get the total category divided by the total environmental quality cost for the year. And because we are dealing here with 1 year only, that means the total prevention was 390. Where I get this 390 from, I will remind you again, this is a 390 total prevention, and then 120 total detection, 12,290,000 total internal failure, 6 million the total external failure. And we have to divide all of them by the total environmental quality cost. So total environmental quality cost is 20 million. So this is the calculation. If you can have a wee look here, this is the relative percentage or the distribution, I will call it relative percentage or distribution of environmental quality cost. So as you can see here, the company, this BK or BL company, spend only 8.60% on control activities, while they spend 91% on internal and external failure. Once you do this distribution of environment or the relative percentage, you realize that the distribution is not good. It's not at least equal. So your first point of comment that this is too much and the company should pay more attention to the external and the internal failure. How the company should pay attention to both internal and external failure? They have to spend some more money on control activities. So if the company spend some more money on control activities, which is prevention and the detection, they will see more reduction into both internal and external failure. And this particular company has to continue to do so until the both internal failure and the external failure become zero. And that means they keep investing in everything. They keep investing in training engineering, something like here performing environmental studies, training in training engineering, or just testing. Spend some more money on testing the material, testing the pollution, measuring the contamination levels, etc. Just because in this stage they are still in the production process. Don't wait until everything just go to the equipment, etc. So once the company invests more money on prevention and the detection, they will see more reduction into internal and external failure. And this is a comment I just written, but of course is a very simple. The distribution here revealed that the company is paying little attention to preventing and detecting environmental cost. To improve the environmental performance, much more needs to be invested in the prevention and the detection categories. You might carry on and say if the company invested more money in control activities, including prevention and detection, we would expect to see more reduction into internal and external failure. Of course, I will explain, how to comment on the environmental quality cost report again when I prepare the environmental financial statements. Thank you. Bye-bye for now, and I'll see you in another video.